Welcome to Smart, Successful and Stressed Mums, the podcast for professional mums who are doing it all. I'm Jasmine, mum of two, qualified social worker and lover of personal and professional development. And I know firsthand what it's like to juggle career, parenting and everything in between. Here, we dive into real conversations about motherhood, career, health, well-being, and the daily balancing act that comes with it. You'll hear from experts in the field, as well as everyday professional mums sharing their stories, struggles, and wins. So grab your favorite hot drink or reheat the one you forgot about, and let's get into it. Welcome to episode 5 of the Smart, Successful and Stressed podcast. Hi there, lovely mums. I'm so thrilled that you've joined me once again for another episode. What I wanted to explore further in this episode is goal setting as a professional mum. So we all have goals that we want to achieve, and there are different types of goals. In this episode, we're going to talk about the different types of goals that we may set for ourselves and the importance of not trying to stack too many goals onto our plates at the same time. And when we stack too many goals onto our plates at the same time, we can fail to achieve any of those goals. And you'll know from that exhilarating experience of achieving a set goal that it's an amazing feeling that you've set yourself a goal or a challenge and then you've completed that through a lot of your hard work, determination. It's such a great feeling. On the other hand, if you think back to a time where you haven't achieved your goals, that's not such a nice feeling. You might have feelings of the not good enough story might be playing over in your head. You might be thinking about comparing yourself to others. Oh, but I didn't achieve this goal, but my friend did. And that really does hold us back from attempting these goals in the first place. So I'm going to talk about different categories of goals, and this isn't by any means an exhaustive list of every single category. Because these podcasts are short, sharp and shiny, I'm just going to choose 3 categories. These are not in any way the preferred categories. It doesn't mean that any other of the categories of goals that I haven't spoken about are any less important. These are just 3 that I've chosen due to the time limitations of our bite-sized episodes. So the first type of goals are a health goal. An example of a health goal, and if I think about a health goal that I set myself, is that I wanted to be able to do at least 5 push-ups. And proper push-ups on my hands and feet, not ones where I was in a kneeling position. I wanted to do proper push-ups. So prior to me setting this goal, I couldn't do any push-ups. So 0. So my goal was 5. And I ensured that that was a realistic goal. I didn't straight away set myself a challenge of 10 push-ups, 20 push-ups, 40 push-ups. I said, okay, 5 push-ups, that's going to be my health goal. So one category is a health goal. And I'm going to talk about how stacking too many goals onto one another can be unhelpful. So that's one health goal. Say, for example, I set myself multiple other goals in that same category. So I set myself multiple other health goals at the same time. Say goal 1 was to be able to do 10 push-ups. Goal 2 was to go from attending the gym 0 times a week to attending 7 days a week with no break. That's so unrealistic, but we're just being hypothetical here. So just play along. Then say your third health goal is that you are cutting out all forms of sugar, refined and unrefined, in your diet, starting immediately for the rest of your life. Well, firstly, I would argue that the goals 2 and 3 are unrealistic, but for the sake of the podcast, you've got 3 health goals that you've set. Then another category of goals is your well-being. So you might have an emotional well-being goal. Let's say that you're struggling in assertively communicating with your manager at work, or if you're a manager, with your employees or your staff, if you're a business owner. So perhaps you're struggling to assertively communicate to others around you. You might set yourself a wellbeing goal to link in with a counsellor and discuss these issues. So you might have a goal that I will attend 6 sessions with a counsellor to discuss these issues, and by the 6th session I'd hope to be able to more assertively communicate with those around me. So we've got health, we've got health, we've got well-being, more emotional well-being, and then the other one could be career. So career could be our third category. So you could set yourself a challenge to secure a new job with a $20,000 salary increase within the next 2 to 3 months. And you could set yourself another career goal, or an educational goal, a career development goal, we'll call it, that you'd also like to enroll in a postgraduate qualification in an area relevant to your field, or wanting to retrain in another field. If you set yourself all of these goals in the 3 different categories, so a few goals from health, some from emotional well-being, and some from career development, do you think it would be quite easy to be able to achieve all these goals at the same time? I would argue that, in my experience, it's near impossible, because you're constantly shifting between focus areas, and you're shifting between your health goals, your emotional well-being goals, and your career development goals, and then you're not actually able to devote your time, attention, and effort to any of these in particular. So you may find that you actually aren't able to achieve any of these goals because of that unrealistic expectation that you're placing on yourself. So that's why I'd mentioned at the start of the episode that stacking, just use a metaphor. I'm a social worker, we love metaphors. So then stacking all of these goals onto your plate at the same time is excessive and unrealistic. And I'm returning to that feeling about how nice it feels when you achieve goals. And what I found is helpful is to devote as much time and attention as you're able to maybe between 1 to 3 main goals, even if you focus on one at a time, because getting those small wins and those small successes could be the motivator we need to move on to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th goal, and so on. So this is a very, very short podcast episode. And in this episode, we've spoken about goals and some of the different categories of goals, and we're going to be talking about goals more in future episodes. But we spoke about the importance of your goals being realistic and not stacking too many goals onto yourself at the one time. You're more likely to be able to achieve your goals or achieve personal growth that you're seeking in those different areas of your life if you're focusing on less goals at a time. That way you can give the small amount of goals that you are working on at any time sort of that laser sharp focus. I do hope that you found this episode inspiring, and let me know what some of the goals are that you're working towards. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you'd like to share this episode with one of your goal-setting professional mum friends, that would be amazing. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Smart, Successful and Stressed podcast. I'll see you next time.